www.gamesfreezer.eu.
Well, what do we got here? Well, we've got Community Inc., the 10-minute taster from Games Freezer. So we're looking at a village builder sim here. Something that I like, get right stuck into usually. Something where you can sort of create your own little village, manage it how you want it to, put your own mark on it. With this game, you set a challenge. You set a challenge of 30 days to create a village, and then basically sell it on. Really, you're there to micromanage everything your Lings do, and you utilise their skills accordingly in order to create items, buildings, patches of growing areas. They also hunt as well. There's all sorts of different skills that they can undertake. So this is taking you through the free tutorials that are built into the game in order to introduce to you like the mechanics around the game. So you get the choice of choosing those tutorials and undertaking them in any order. Okay, so initially we're just looking at the basics really, how to hire a Ling. So these are these little creatures that work for you, that you're in control of, and that pop out of this portal. Not sure why they come out of a portal, doesn't really get explained. But then once you hired one and you've got him in your village, then you'll undertake the actions to get him to do stuff for you. So basically you've told him to go chop that tree down. He's a lumberjack and he's okay, because I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Anyway, he's a lumberjack by trade, but he can also be a builder. So you can basically assign each of the Lings that you hire different jobs, but they can only undertake one job at a time. So they could be multi-skilled as a lumberjack, a builder, a miner, but they can't do all those things at once. So you need to remember what skills you've assigned each of your characters and use them wisely. So timing is key for utilising the different Lings at the right time in order to build the right items. So it becomes a game of, okay, let's hire in our Lings and delegate the jobs and skills accordingly in order to fulfill certain tasks that you need to fulfill in order to build a village, build buildings, etc. One of the other things that you will find when you play the full game is you'll interact with other beings and different sort of creatures, factions that come to you with proposals. So can you build me this, or can you trade me that? And they're classed as contracts, and those contracts are then either fulfilled or not, and then your relationship with those factions then goes up or down depending on whether you fulfilled the ask. So this next part of the tutorial that we're going through here on screen shows you buildings. So it jumps you straight into a situation where you're got quite a developed little village there, with some vegetable patches and buildings, etc. And shows you how it could look once you've got stuck in. Now this diplomacy part is where you're actually looking to create like trade agreements between each of the factions. If you take on a trade agreement with one faction, that might upset another faction. So that's your sort of risk and reward there. You're going to go in with one side, but that might not please others. And as with these type of games, in all these type of games, you're never going to please everybody. So you got to try and pick your sides accordingly and tactically. I like the look of the game. It looks pretty cool. You can sort of pan around the screen using your WASD controls, also using your arrow keys on your keyboard as well. and you can pan around and have a look to see what's in the surrounding vicinity. Primarily you're going to be focused on your main village area, but sometimes you'll have to sort of track down your lings to see where they've got to, and that can be pretty tough at times because they can sort of split off and go here, there and everywhere, and you're trying to look for where they are. There's some kind of like geotag option down the bottom left where it shows you exactly where each of them are, and you can sort of hunt them down. But the thing is, they'll look pretty much similar, so it's not as though you're looking for, oh yeah, guy with the hat, with a red hat or whatever. They all look from this distance pretty much the same. So it's a shame they didn't sort of make them distinguishable from each other in a way, or even give you that opportunity to create your own little crew of different looking members. That would have been pretty cool. And I think the thing I've found with this so far is it's a nice game just to sit down and play and chill out to. You can work your way through it. While it does kind of get a little bit tedious when you're trying to line up jobs between each of the lings, try and work out what resources you need, and you're trying to tell them every single tree to cut down, every single rock to go after. You can't just kind of say, right, we need wood, go and get wood. You have to go choose each tree, then they go and chop that tree down, and they bring the resources back to the storage area, whether that's the cart or a warehouse you can build, and then from that you've still got to instruct them to go and get the relevant materials and build particular items, and only if they've got the relevant skills and the relevant workbench in order to create those. So it just kind of feels like there's a few too many steps in order to make the whole thing intuitive. But it's not to say it's not a good game. I think it's pretty cool, and if you're into kind of village building, etc., those kind of micromanagement games, then this could be your thing. I mean, it's does sometimes feel like a bit of a spreadsheet manager, because you're going back into your list of lings on the bottom left there a lot and trying to work out exactly what the hell needs to happen next and what's going on and where they are and what skills they've got. There just kind of needs to be an easier way of doing things, you know. But the actual idea of the game there is really good. I do like it, and I like the way it's been implemented, and the look and the feel of it, and even the music just chills you out. It gets you playing a really nice kind of sim that a lot of people are going to enjoy. It's just a shame, I think it misses the mark slightly, only slightly, with the amount of to and froing you have to do with each of the menial tasks, like building things. I like the fact you've got this sort of diplomacy layer to it. It could have more of maybe a storyline associated with it as well. That might have helped you immerse yourself a bit more into it. But yeah, you're basically a manager. You manage the lings, and they do what you want them to do. Right, stay frosty, Freezer followers.
www.gamesfreezer.eu